Hi, everyone. I'm Bev DeBono, and I am a Creative Memories Advisor in New Jersey. And today's class is using the Mexico theme pack. And if you don't have the Mexico theme pack, you can use the BoHo Escape Creative Memories Collection. So tonight we're going to be creating 6 pages. You can start and stop the recording so you can catch up along the way. And I hope you enjoy it. So for our Mexico BoHo Escape class, we're going to be using the theme pack and the laser borders, or the BoHo Escape Collection. So let's get started with our first 2 pages. I'm going to first show you how to do the page in Mexico, and then I'm going to quick show you how to do the page in BoHo Escape. For Mexico, you need the floral paper. And then you need another of the floral paper, but now we're using the green side, the green cactus side. We're using one of the striped, and we are going to use one navy cardstock and one goldenrod or bright yellow. These are the 5 pieces that we are using for these 2 pages. If you are doing BoHo Escape, you will also still need the goldenrod, and you can follow along with that. And we will be doing the same thing as far as cutting out the sun. So to get started, we need our jumbo circle template. And we're going to place that directly in the center of the gold cardstock. And we are going to cut on the outside with the red blade. Red blade on the outside, just one time cut. Now, sometimes with this template, they kind of wiggle around a little bit. You want to make sure it's nice and sturdy. And sometimes I actually just put my whole arm in there so that it doesn't get messed up. And we're going to cut that right around with the red blade. And I think I may have missed this little section here. There we go. Okay. We're going to use this to frame the other page, the other side. And now we're going to use this for our border maker cartridge. We're using the zebra stripe border maker cartridge. If you don't have that, there is a workaround. You can use the fence. We are going to use the border maker cartridge as a punch instead of as a border. So insert your cartridge into the housing. And what you want to do now is you want to turn it over, flip it over, and we're going to be using this as a punch. Insert your paper all the way to the back. Make sure that it's even, because it's round, it's going to rock a little bit. So make sure it's even. Press it down, put it down, and punch. Go move it along. And you're going to make sure that this border, the gray side of the under part of the punch, is going to line up just a little bit away from that yellow zebra that we just punched out, that zebra stripe. Okay, so I'm going to insert that in. So you see here, if I put it here, you can see I'm punching over what I already punched. So move it around. Make sure you're not punching here, but that your paper is lining up to next to it. Make sure it's all the way to the back. Fold it down and punch. It's okay if it's uneven like this. This is a sun ray and it's fine. And it actually makes it look kind of cool. Do it again. The reason we're folding it, we're punching it and we're putting it upside down is because all of these little pieces that come out, they can get jammed back up in here and then you won't get a clean punch. Let's do it again. We're going to do this all the way around the punch until we've created our sunshine. Now, if you are doing Boho Escape, you're doing the exact same thing with the gold cardstock. My paper is kind of thick, otherwise I would just punch it, but this one's actually kind of thick, so I can't really punch it that way. I have to actually lay it down and punch it. So don't worry if it's even, not even. It actually lends itself to that. It's really kind of fun. And you know what, if you have towards the end, if you get into a situation where you've punched over something, you know what, we're just going to cover it up with a mat or a sticker. It's not a problem. So keep working your way around until you get all the way done. I'm just going to clear out my debris. It's going back up in the punch. So many times we think that we can only use the Border Maker cartridges as a border, but here I'm showing you how we can use them as actually a punch. And it really is kind of fun. It gives you more versatility with this tool. Now you see this one, I went a little too close so that my little zebra stripe here is very thin. So maybe that's the one I'm going to cover up with a sticker or a mat. We'll see. Not to worry about things like that. Once you get this done, this is actually one of the fastest pages. Okay, and you see now I have a little section here that it's a little too small for me to punch with the punch. I'm just going to let that be because I am going to cover it with a sticker or a mat. So not to worry about that. Okay, that's the hardest part of this page. So now we can move along. And I'm actually going to just lay them out. The big sun part is going on the striped paper, and the frame itself is going to go on the cactus paper. Make sure that your cactus is facing up, and we're going to just tape it down. So let's tape that frame down. I'm using the repositionable tape with some wax paper underneath so that I can get all the way to the edge and it won't be lifting up. So we have now used what we punched out, and we're also going to be using the frame itself. And so that's kind of cool, so that there's no piece that's going to get wasted. So line it up at the top and then slowly work your way down. It's like wallpaper, and it just fits perfectly. Now in this one, I am going to just wait until I have my mats cut so that I know where to position this little piece here that I didn't like. So let's cut some of our mats. Now, if you are using the Boho Escape, you can definitely do the same thing. One is going One is getting taped. The sun is getting taped onto the green stripe. And the frame is getting taped onto the green flower paper, green leaf paper. Okay. All right, let's cut our mats with the navy. We need 4 4x6 mats and 2 4x4 mats. So let's do those first. We're going to cut at the 4-inch mark first. We're going to cut again at the 4-inch mark. Okay, now let's take one of those pieces, turn it to the side, and cut that at the 6-inch mark. Let's take another one of those pieces, turn it to the side, and cut at the 6-inch mark. So now you have your 4 4x6s. And let's take the remaining piece and let's cut that at 4x4 2 times. So we're going to put that at the 4-inch mark, cut, and put that at the 4-inch mark again, and cut. And now we want 2 smaller little pieces. One is for the title and one is for the sticker cluster that was going to go on the bottom. For the title, we need a 4 by 1 3/4. So I'm just going to move my piece over to 1 3/4. It's already at the 4-inch mark. It's already cut at 4. That's for the title, Mexico. And then this other little piece here, we want this at the 3-inch by 2-inch. So let's cut that. Let's move it to the 2-inch first. And then turn it on its side and cut that to the 3-inch. And that's for your sticker cluster. Now let's cut the mats that go inside these frames. So we're going to be using our floral paper, and we're going to cut, because it's a 4-inch mat, we want a little bit showing around the edges. So we're going to cut it at 3 3/4. And then because it's 6 inches this way, we're going to be cutting it at 5 3/4. So we need 4 of those. So let's cut this at 3 3/4 by 12, 3 3/4. Let's cut that again at 3 3/4. Okay, take those 2 pieces and stack them up. Put it to the side and cut that at 5 3/4. 5 3/4, and then move it again and cut that at 5 3/4. Now, if you're doing Boho Escape, you're not cutting mats. You are using some mats that are already prepared. Then we need to do the inside of the 4x4s. So we're going to cut this again at 3 3/4. So we need 2 squares. Okay, 3 3/4. Turn it to the side. Cut that at 3 3/4. Cut it again at 3 3/4. Okay, and now for the inside of the title, we're going to need a 3 3/4 by 1 1/2. So it's already at 3 3/4. Let's just move it over to 1 1/2 and cut that at 1 1/2. That's going to go inside this piece to make your title. And now we need the inside for the sticker cluster. And we're going to need 2 3/4 by 1 3/4. 2 3/4 by 1 3/4. So let's cut 2 3/4 first. And then turn it and cut it at 1 3/4. Okay, and now flip it over, and you are going to be using the green side. Okay, let's assemble our mats and start from there. Clear my workspace. So we are going to put all of our 4x6 pieces on first. Let's put the floral 3 3/4 by 5 3/4. Let's line those up. Let's adhere them all together. And this is an all over pattern with this floral, so you don't really have to worry. 2 are going to go on this page, and then 2 small ones are going to go on this page. So they all are going to get taped down. Okay, so this page is going to come together like that. And then this other page is going to come together. So these are really placeholders, but they're really very, very pretty. And we have those 2. And then we're going to put our little title piece here. And then this will become our sticker cluster, which is going to go at the bottom section. Okay, and now I can kind of see where that mat is going to go so that I know where I can cover this little piece here that I didn't like the way that that turned out at the end. So just stagger the position of your mats. If you don't like them in this direction, you can certainly make them straight. There's no right or wrong with this. It's whatever you like. So you can do them straight, or you can do them angled. Okay, so that's how they would look if they were straight. Okay, let's do the left-hand side first. I'm going to continue with my angle. And I'm just going to overlap the 2 mats. You want most of those mats to be inside your sunshine, your yellow sunshine. Okay, and I'm actually going to go ahead and tape these on my mat, my yellow sunshine, because I don't want to miss where that piece is going to be. Oh, I should be using regular tape. There we go. Like I said, I'm just trying to cover up my this little piece here that I didn't like the way it totally turned out. Okay, and then just work with your papers. Now the bottom one that you're making the sticker cluster, make a little bit of a bigger gap between the mat and that sticker cluster, because you want to put the word hola. So what I try to do is line it up. The reason it's smaller See, the one at the top, the title at the top, was the exact same width of the mat. But the one at the bottom is smaller. And the reason is because it is overlapping a little bit on this right-hand side of that map. But what you need to do is make sure that the edge of this is in the same sight line as your mat. And that just really helps. And if you're not sure how wide to make it, then we can actually go right onto our sticker sheet and get the words hola, and that's going to go right there so you know exactly how wide a space to leave there. Okay. And then you're ready to tape that down. Again, keeping your sight line. That mat's lined up to the left-hand side of the bigger mat on top of it. Okay, and now you're ready to actually put tape on the back of this. And I'm going to just add a little bit around the sun. Using my repositionable tape, and wax paper, it's only sticking to where there is paper. Okay, and now turn it over and adhere it right to your striped paper. Make sure your stripes are going side to side. And now you're ready to add some of your stickers for decoration. You could use Mexico fits right in here. If you'd like, you can use some foam tape and tape that and add some foam to that and pop that up a little bit. So with the foam tape, it goes all the way across the whole sticker. And you just clip it. And I usually like to put another row because I like to over foam. Okay, and then you just take off that backing and it's ready to put on there. Okay, and because we had bordered it in the navy, you see how that pops with the colors. Okay, now our sticker cluster down here, you want to put and you can use whatever stickers you like. I use the maracas, I use the chilies, and I used an avocado. And I just kind of place them. So normally I like to have my stickers touching, but because it's on a cluster, a block, it's okay that they are apart. And then the guitar is going to go up above where the word says hola, and that's going to go right sideways on that, touching that corner. And then a cactus can go, and if you can substitute the cactus for this other flower. I might do that because I wanted to just add more flowers here because it was the flower paper. Okay, and your page is done on the left-hand side. Now on the right-hand side, before we put our mats down, what we want to do is to run our stickers, these beautiful banner stickers that really look like a fun event. So even if you haven't been to Mexico, you may have Taco Tuesday, you may have, a party, a piñata party, any kind of thing like that. And this would be kind of fun. So we're going to use our banner stickers. Be careful taking them out because they are delicate. And we're going to put the first one at the 1/2 inch mark. Now, when you use your 13 by 13 mat, you are really going to be lining up one end of your sticker at the 1/2 inch mark and the other end of your sticker at the other 1/2 inch mark. Okay, so I just kind of make sure I have the left-hand side down, and then before I stick it down, you see it's free in my hand. I then go to the 1/2 inch mark here and line that up. And there's your first banner. Your second banner is going to line up at the 1 inch mark. So again, let's take our banner carefully. And we're going to line that, the edge here to the 1 inch mark. And again, I'm going to keep it in my hand until I get to the, oh, wait, what happened to that? It's not the 1 inch mark. Oh, yes, it is. And it's going to go further down. Okay, so now you have these mats, and we're going to just overlap them and kind of play with them a little bit before you tape them down. Get them to a position where you like them, and that they are, you have the same amount of space from the right-hand side and the left-hand side, and then you can start taping them down. And they're just going to overlap at the bottom. The mats themselves are just going to overlap a little bit at the bottom points there. And like I said, if you don't want to have them angled, there's the option to have your mats straight. There's no right or wrong. It's however you would like your pages to look. This one is going to get angled down just a little bit more. Okay, there you go. So now I wanted to put the other flower here in between those two, the smaller little flower, and that carries the flower theme through. And then in the middle of the bottom two mats, I had another chili pepper and a little flower. And you can use whatever flower. You can use a yellow one, a green one. It doesn't matter. It's whatever flower you have. Now on the right hand side, I put amigos, and on the left hand side, I put te amo. So that is up to you. I am only going to foam up te amo. You don't really need to foam everything up. So I'm going to put amigos on the left hand side, but before I really stick it down, I'm going to cluster the blue flower and the orange flower with the two leaves. And I might have to just use my multi-purpose tool and lift up that side of amigos and get that under there. And now on this other side, I want two more flowers. So I am going to just lift it up carefully with my multi-purpose tool. And I'm going to put the purple flower and maybe that little vine flower and just cluster the flowers. So it adds a little fun to amigos. Okay, te amo is going to get a foam. And again, with the foam tape, I'm just going to go straight over to the edge. Flip it. If you haven't tried foam tape, you guys, it is really such a change. It's so much fun. Now, before I put this down, I'm going to get the hat, the sombrero, and I'm going to put it, I'm just going to put it like this so that it's just touching, and that's going to go in the upper left. And then I'm going to put another flower, maybe this red guy. I'm going to put that right there. Okay, and there you have your first two pages done. And now I'm going to quick show you this pages in BoHo Escape. So we have the frame itself is going to go on the outside of the green leaf paper. And this is fun because when you have a technique like this and you can use it for so many different things, it really is a lot of fun. This is also a great way to use paper that's very busy. Like this green leaf paper is very busy. But when we cover part of it up, it looks a little different. It's just not as bright somehow. It really kind of tames it down. I'm going to do the same thing. Oops, this one's just not going. This is why I use repositionable tape. Start at your top, get your top set, and then slowly, like wallpaper, bring it down, and it just goes straight on. Okay, then our other side, we're going to use the same thing. And we're going to just put some of this on here. Repo tape. I want the stripes on this one, the dark green stripe, to go side to side, just like we did on the Mexican cover page. So I'm going to put that side to side as well. And that just ties those two pages together without being so dark. Now for this side, I want to show you, I used a lot of the mats and everything that was already in the pack. We're going to do the left-hand side first. So you can use your bamboo mat. There's another one here that you can use. And this is a smaller mat right from the mat pack. I'm just going to put that there. And it's going to just get layered underneath. And then I'm going to just, because this had so much going on, I kind of made this a little bit smaller. Oops. I used, and you can use many different things, but I really like the mats because sometimes you get these beautiful titles on them. This particular one says Perfect Day, and I'm going to put that up here across the top. And I'm going to cut that to 5 1/4 by 1 3/4. So this is a smaller mat. It's 4 by 6. So we're going to cut it to 5 1/4 by 1 3/4 wide. Okay, so I'm just going to cut the 1 3/4 wide first. Make sure you're not cutting off your words. Oops. One 1 3/4, we're cutting that first. Oh, I just got it in under the line there. And then you want to cut your 5 1/4. So because this is 6 inches, we want to cut off on one side. I'm going to cut off, you can make it 5 inches. I'm going to cut off a 1/2 inch on both sides. It's actually fine. Let's just cut off a 1/2 inch on both sides. It's perfectly fine. Okay, and this page is ready to come together. And we can tape that down. And then these are the stickers and die cuts that I used for this page. Now, in order to move along quickly, what I think I'm going to do is just put some of these down with some repositionable tape And then you could go back later and add foam if you'd like. And your embellishments like your bling. So just kind of position that. And this is a really nice way to use up these beautiful bamboo mats. So it looks a little different than the Mexico page, but it's still very much in the same type of layout. It's just moved around. It's kind of like following a sketch where you change it up just a little bit. Okay, and like I said, I'm just going to put some repo tape on here so that I can move along. And we're going to put these two clusters on the bottom. And we're going to put one of the leaves by Perfect Day with one of the die cut flowers, and then a sticker here up at the top. So you see how easily that came together. And I just want to show you up close where I put the bling. So I added bling to the inside of this navy sun, the inside of the flower, and a couple on the leaves up at the top. Down on the bottom, I put 3 bling on these leaves and those petals. Okay, and it really pops it. So now the right-hand side is feeling left out because we were working on the left-hand side. So what are we going to do? Because on the other page, we had that beautiful banner that went across. But with BoHo Escape, there are some of these stickers, these long strips. And this one with, I'm using this green that has like the little diamonds in the middle. And that is actually a really pretty strip. And I'm going to put that at the 1-inch mark. So I'm going to put the top of it at the 1-inch mark on the left, hold it in my hand till I get to the top of the 1-inch mark on the right, and then put that down. Now for this, I'm going to show you some alternatives. You can use this other bamboo for your title. And if you don't have enough of these bamboo pieces, what I did was I took the bamboo piece and I put another mat underneath it like that. And you can tape that down. And that will go like so. And the same with, where am I going with this? The same with this. I can put the other bamboo and cut it to fit here. And that can go there. I can use, instead of this one here, I can use a mat that says highlights, and that can go here, and you can journal parts of your trip, which would be fun. And then if you don't have another one of these bamboo pieces, you can then use another mat. And in here, I just cut one of the mats and use the inside piece for I just use the inside piece here and then just put it right down. Okay, so you can use at the top, this one has little happy moments, that's on foam, and then 2 of the pink flowers. And those, I cut the stems off and I put some bling in there. And then I had a sun sticker and I put some bling in there. On the bottom mat, I have I Think of You and Smile, which is a sticker, and then another sticker right above it. Okay, so this is just a little bit of an alternative. So I just wanted to make sure that you got a chance to see that if you don't have everything, that's okay. That you can substitute things in here. Okay. Okay, let's move along to our next two pages, which is really fun. We're going to be making a blanket. And I love this page because it really is like a blanket, a beach blanket, and we're going to do the similar thing with BoHo Escape. So we need 2 navy pieces for our base. We need the aqua piece that's in the theme pack. We need the yellow, another piece of yellow, and then we need the stripe on this as well. Okay, let's start with our stripe. And what we're going to do with the stripe is we are going to cut it in half to 6 by 12. So I am going to cut it with the stripes going side to side. The stripes are going side to side. And we're going to cut that right at the 6-inch mark. Okay, and I think the easiest thing to do is to then take the other piece and turn it to the side. And now cut that at the 4-inch mark. And cut it again at the 4-inch mark. Okay, let's take our aqua piece and we're going to cut this at the 6-inch mark. We need a 6 by 12. That's going to be the back of our blanket. So we're going to cut this at the 6-inch mark. Okay, and with the piece that's remaining, let's take our smallest circle, circle number 1, which is our smallest circle of our circles. And we are going to cut 2 circles with the red blade on the outside. Circle number 1, which is the smallest circle, red blade on the outside 2 times. Red blade on the outside 2 times. Okay, and then this is extra, this piece. And you'll see how fast this page actually comes together. Now, if you have the zebra punch border maker cartridge, we're actually going to use it as a border maker cartridge this time. So let's get our paper. We're going to punch both sides of the striped paper along the long side. That's going to we're going to put that right in our border maker system, right on the guide, paper guide. Fold it back. If you do not have the zebra stripe, you can use the fence. because what we're going to do then is just we're going to cut this little section here, and you will have a little bit of a fringe. It won't be a wavy fringe, but you still will have a fringe. Okay, so let's punch along both sides, both of the long sides with your zebra stripe. And just move it along so that it's attached. Move all this debris. Some people actually use this. They have used these for like little lions, to make lions' manes, and little creatures. You can make little octopuses with them. I mean, they actually are kind of fun. Okay, now turn it around and we're going to punch the other long side. Okay. And now what I want you to do is to take your trimmer, and we are going to cut both sides. We're going to cut the top, this little piece here and a little piece at the bottom, 1/4 of an inch. So the 1/4 of an inch mark is right at the end of your gray mat. Okay, so it's right at the end of your gray mat. Okay, so we're going to cut 1/4 of an inch off both sides. And this is going to become your borders for the bottom. Because I really didn't want to throw these out, but aren't those cute? That's a really great border. Turn it around and cut 1/4 of an inch off the other side. Isn't that great? I love it. Okay, and now let's attach that to this big piece of aqua. And I'm going to again use my repositionable tape and my wax paper, and I'm going to put my repo tape on the little fringes. Now, if you are using the fence, you are going to do the same thing. You're going to cut this at 1/4 of an inch off. So it's going to go right to the edge of your gray mat. And it's really a great workaround here for the fence. Okay, so you will have a little bit of a fringe. It's not wavy like the one we have, but it still becomes a little bit of a fringe, like a beach blanket or a blanket. And then you can use this other piece as your border for the top and the bottom. So there's always a way that you can use what you already have. And this came with your border maker system. And it's not used as much as it probably should be, but it really is a good tool. Okay, so I'm just putting my repo tape along my fringe, and then I'm going to now tape, put tape on the back, and then I'm going to just center it on this aqua piece right here. Center your stripe on the aqua piece. Isn't that pretty? I love it. I just thought that was so fun to have it look like a blanket with all the fringes. I want to make sure I have a little bit of that repo tape here because that little fringe is sticking off the edge. Okay, so isn't that cool? I just love it. Now we're going to take our two smaller pieces, and I want you to stack them on top of each other. And we're going to put the short end the short end in our border maker system. And we're going to punch with the zebra stripe on that short end. And it's okay to do this. The border maker cartridges repeat every 2 inches. This is 4-inch piece, so it's perfect. Okay, and now we're going to take it, turn it to the other side, and punch one more time on the short edge. Okay, and then you can get rid of your debris. And we're going to do the same thing. We're going to cut at the 1/4 inch mark. We're going to cut that fringe at the 1/4 inch mark on both sides where we have punched that punch. Okay, so the 1/4 inch, remember, is at the end of your gray strip. Don't throw these out because we're going to need them for the other border. We only cut 2, so we're going to need another one for the top of another page. Okay, and now we actually are ready to start to assemble. So let's get our navy bases. Your big aqua strip is going to go right in the middle, and that is going to be at the 9.5 inches down from the top and 3.5 inches. So it's 3.5 inches down from the top. You can go ahead and tape that on. 3.5 inches down from the top. Now again, with your 13 by 13 mat, you don't really have to mark your paper and measure. It's 3.5 inches down from the top on the right, and it's 9.5 inches, or 8.5 inches down on the left. So you line both sides up and you're ready to tape them down. Now let's use our little strips. I'm going to use the 2 that match, the 2 long ones on the bottom. If you use the fence and you have this, that's what yours will look like. And it's really a very nice border. It looks fun, or you can use it this way. But we're going to be using the fringe, and you want the straight edge at the bottom. So with your repositionable tape, we're going to put repositionable tape on the little fringe. I just don't like it.
But Julie has a question. She's saying, what size are they? Julie, what are we talking about? Little strips?
That's what we cut off the edge of this, the 1/4 inch that we cut off the edge of these.
No, I was asking about the little mats that you cut.
Oh, those were 4 by 6.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. I didn't quite have 4 by 6 because I had already used part of my strike paper, so I'm
Okay.
having to
Okay. All right. We're recording
Thank
this.
you.
So, okay. So we want to use this piece here, and we're going to put this at a 1/4 inch up from the bottom. A 1/4 inch up from the bottom. So it's not going to go right on the bottom, but a 1/4 inch. And what this does is it adds another layer, a little frame for that. And we have the straight edge. The straight edge is going to be at the bottom. Okay, we're going to do the same thing to the other side. A 1/4 of an inch from the bottom. So make sure that your paper is lined up really nice and straight on your mat. And when it is, then you'll be able to just go right across there at a 1/4 of an inch. Okay, before we put the mats on the left-hand side, what we have to do is we've got to piece some of this together. So the 4 little pieces that we had from the little mats that we had cut, we're going to piece those together to make the top of another one. And that's going to be at a 1/4 of an inch. And it might just be easy to do both sides first, the 2 edges first, so that you can see where the 1/4 of an inch is, meeting in the middle. And I can see that the one on the left is just a little further down, further up. So I'm just going to lift it up from my repo tape and put it back down again. And then the other piece is going to go right in the middle between the 2. Okay, and it should fit because we cut these were 4-inch widths that we cut. And it does go all the way across. Okay, and now you can put your Mexico, and let's say you didn't go to Mexico, you went to Arizona or something like that. You can put a mat on top of the words Mexico and make it a different, add a different place on there. That's perfectly fine. All right, so I'm going to use my repo tape again. And I'm now going to put that at about the 2-inch mark down from the top, 2 inches down from the top. And once you have that done, then just place your other mats on the left-hand side, angling your two striped mats, and they can overlap just a little bit. And that page is ready to get taped down. This is just such a fun, I love these colors. They're just so pretty. And then we're going to tape these fringes. And overlap them just a little bit in the middle so that they touch. And now your left-hand side is done. How fun is that? But wait, we're not done. We still have to make our sun that goes on the top of the right-hand side. Okay, so to make the sun, what we want to do is get our yellow or golden cardstock. And we are going to punch 1 hole punch with the zebra punch. If you don't have the zebra punch, you can use the fence. And I'm just going to punch one complete border with this zebra punch. And you can even use these for the sun rays, the rays of the sun, if you want. Okay, we're going to cut 1/4 of an inch off. The 1/4 of an inch, remember, is at the gray end of your gray strip. And you can use this on another page, so you have a cute little strip to use elsewhere. And then I'm going to cut that at about, oh, let's see, what did I say in the directions? I'm going to cut the sun at 1.5 inches. So where you have your little fringe, put that at 1.5 inches. And let's cut that. Okay, and that's going to become our rays for our sun. And now we're going to get circle number 1 again, which is our small circle. And we are going to cut 1 red blade on the outside. Red blade on the outside. Okay, and now I'm going to cut that in half. So to cut our circles in half, we can use our trimmer. And if you place your circle on the bottom, right in that belly, so here is the belly here, it's between the 2 centimeters on both sides. You see at the very bottom, between the 2 centimeter marks. Just have your paper rest, your circle rest right evenly between those 2, right in this little belly here. And you're just going to cut it right in half. And this is really a trick with this trimmer, that you make perfect half circles by just doing that. Okay, and it's really a very fast trick. Okay, so that's going to become the top part of our sun, but we're going to take you can take your microtip scissor and find mine. So what I want to do with this is take my microtip scissor and I'm going to cut into every couple. I'm going to cut in, let me get a piece of white so you can see it better. Every couple of these little sections here, I'm just going to clip in. Okay, we're not cutting all the way through, but every couple of them, we're just going to clip in. And because we're going to have to bend it and fold it, and sometimes cardstock is not as forgiving as designer paper. So just clip it in, just like that. You don't have to do the whole thing because we're only doing a half a circle. Okay, so now you have that clipped in, and you see you've got some flexibility here so that it can actually bend a little bit. All right, and we're going to put repo tape on the back, on the whole bottom here along this rounded part. That's where we're going to put our repo tape. And then we're going to just take our zebra punch, we're going to just line it up to the back of the sun so that there's just, you're covering that border that you cut so that just the rays are peeking out. And you're going to, where we cut it, just bend it and angle it around. Oops, this one, if I have to undo it, that's fine. Bend it, move it around. Just bend it, move it around. Sometimes cardstock isn't as easy to work with as designer paper. These don't have to be perfect. These are sun rays. So just try to bend it. And you'll have these little bumps here, these little that you're forming as you bend it, and that's fine. Let's see. So now we have some suns. And we're going to clip it. Oh, and maybe I have to add a couple here, one there, one at the other place. I'm going to do that. I'm just going to clip a couple off, and I'm going to add a couple to where I don't have any. So that I have little sun rays there. And then I have, this is the back of it, and then I have sun rays there. Okay, so that when you turn it over, you have a fully formed sunshine. Okay, and as I said, it's okay that they're not perfectly even. There's nothing wrong with that. And once you have that done, you're ready to tape that to the top. And that's going to go right in the middle, at the very top. So I'm going to put regular tape on this, on the big section, and repo tape on the little sun rays. Okay, repo tape on the little sun rays. This one I'm going to do all the sun rays because it is bent. Okay, and now I can see by using my mat, and if you want to put one at the corner, I mean, you could do this also. You could put at the corner if you'd like. I'm going to put this in the middle of my page. So that means that the body of the sun rays here is going to be probably at the 8-inch mark and between the 8-inch mark and the 4-inch mark. Not the rays, just the body of the circle between the 8-inch mark and the 4-inch mark. Okay, and evenly put that on, and now you have your beautiful sunshine. I took the word fiesta and put it in the sunshine. And if you'd like, you can pop that up with some foam. You definitely would have to put some little foam pieces on there. And that just pops it a little bit. So I'm putting one little foam behind each banner piece. Just behind each banner piece. Oops, that was my foam square. Need a couple more. Now this is fun because you can actually put photos in here that line up this way on your blanket, or you can actually take more circles. And if you want, you can place circles so that you're not covering up the whole blanket. So again, the circle number 1, the outside, you can get 3 across, and it would really complement this design. All right, so the word fiesta is going to go at the kind of the top here in your sun. And we've got the guitar, the sombrero, and another flower. And we're going to cluster that. And then the little flower. If you can fit the flower, if not, then it's okay. And use the flower somewhere else. If you want to put piñata, the word piñata with the 2 piñatas on the left, to make it like a piñata party or a kind of a taco party with the 2 piñatas. And then on the left, tacos. And I have the 2 tacos and the avocado in the middle. So that's kind of fun. So 2 tacos with the avocado. Okay. And so now that page is complete. So now if you're doing boho, we're doing something just a little bit different. Pretty much the same, but we're just going to change it up just a little bit. We're still going to use 2 of the navy tone-on-tones for the base. So we have 2 navy tone-on-tones for the base. The other side is this pink or peach. Or if you have the other navies, you could use the navies with, again, a little peach there. And what I want to do is use the floral, this beautiful floral. And then the chevron orange, that's going to be our blanket. And then the orange stripe is going to become underneath the blanket, the base under the blanket. So we're going to do this just a teensy bit different, but the page is still going to look almost the same. Okay, so the first thing that we have to do is we are going to make our blanket with our fringe. So let's get our maker cartridge with our zebra again. Oops, let's cut this first. So let's cut this stripe at 12 by 6. Well, 6 by 12, 6 inches wide. We'll cut it at the 6-inch mark. Okay, and that's going to become the base for our blanket. Okay, so that's the 6 by 12. Then we're going to take the chevron paper, and we want the chevron, we're going to cut this also at the 6 by 12. So turn this to the side. So you have the chevrons going top to bottom. And we're going to cut that at the 6-inch mark. Okay, and then we're going to take one of the pieces, turn it and cut that at the 4-inch mark. And then the 4-inch mark again. Okay, don't throw this out. We're going to need this for the next page. Okay, we're ready to punch. So we're going to get our border maker system. And we're going to put our bigger piece of the orange chevron, and we're going to punch both sides of the long side. Both sides of the long side. So we have two zebra stripe board maker cartridges. Okay, turn it. And we're going to do the other long side. Okay, let's clear our debris. And now we're going to stack the two 4x6 pieces, and we're going to punch on the short side, both times on the short side with our zebra punch. If you don't have the zebra, you can use the fence. This is just 2 punches each. Oops, my paper moved. I'm not really supposed to punch 2 at a time, but the other thing I want to do is just check the position of my cartridge. Every once in a while, take it out, put it back in again so it's all the way in so that it's not coming out. Okay, and then turn it all the way around to the other short side. The other short side, and we're going to punch two punches of that. Okay. And now we have our debris. Let's get rid of our debris. And guess what we're going to do? We're going to cut this off at the 1/4 of an inch, just like we did with the other one. So we're going to cut a 1/4 of an inch off both of the fringe sides. 1/4 of an inch is right at the edge of our mat strip. And we're going to turn it totally around and cut the other side at the 1/4 of an inch. And now we're going to take our other 2 smaller pieces and cut both fringe sides off at the 1/4 of an inch. Both fringe sides. Okay. And now what I'd like to do is take the long strip and place it over your orange stripe, and that's going to become your blanket there. So you see that that's going to become the blanket. Now I changed the top of this a little bit because I just thought that it wasn't showing up so much to have this orange on the navy on this one. So I played around with it and I had a different idea for this one, but the overall idea is still the same. So it's sort of like we just changed the sketch up a little bit. Okay, so now I'm just going to place this exactly in the middle of that pale pink orange stripe there. We have our one beach blanket. And then we have the start of the other side. Okay, so I changed this one up a little bit because I just like the way it looked a little bit better. And what I did was I used this beautiful flower print here. And what I want to do is punch with the zebra punch 4 borders. Okay, I want to punch 4 borders. So we're going to punch 2 at a time and then cut them. Want to see what I wrote down as far as the dimension. So let's punch 4 borders with this paper. Do 2 at a time. See the zebra punch again. Turn it around. Let's punch that again. Let's get rid of our debris. And then what we want to do is cut off the 1/4 of an inch. Let me just see the floral. I don't know if I gave you that dimension here. So we're going to cut off a 1/4 of an inch from both of these edges. And then I'm going to cut it at the 1 inch mark. Move it so that you're cutting it at the 1 inch mark. Okay, so you have this little frame here. I'm going to do the same thing with the other side. Turn it to the other side, cut it at the 1/4 of an inch mark. And you have all these really nice little sections here that you can use for more pages, but we're not going to use those little ones on this particular page. And then move it down to the 1 inch mark. And cut that. So now we have the border of 1. And let's punch border maker cartridge. Let's punch 2 more zebras. 4 zebras. We're gonna do the same thing. So I decided to do a double border with this because I just, the orange wasn't popping for me, and the yellow sun wasn't working with this. So I wanted to do something just a teeny bit different, but still along the same lines. Okay, so now we have those, and we're going to do the same thing. Clear your debris. Let's punch, let's cut a 1/4 of an inch off. And then move it down and cut it at the 1 inch mark. Okay, turn your paper all the way around. Let's cut that at the 1/4 of an inch mark. Move it down and cut it at the 1 inch mark. Okay, well, we are ready to assemble just a little bit. Sometimes it's good to assemble as you go along a little bit. So I'm going to take my navy, and it's a tone on tone. This one was a little bit more green. You could use the navy. Both of them will work. And what I want to do is I'm going to layer these. So you see how they're popping much better than just this little orange piece that was here. But you have these now for other pages, which you will have fun with. So let's put that. We want the fringe at the top. And we want that at a 1/4 of an inch from the top. Let's put our fringe, 1 row of fringe, 1/4 of an inch from the top. And I'm going to okay, so for this is going to be 1/4 of an inch down from the top. Again, line up your fringe. Your fringe is going to be at the top. And then do your other one. 1/4 of an inch from the top. These are delicate. Oops, I need tape. These are delicate, so be careful with them. You want your fringe facing the top. 1/4 of an inch down from the top. Okay, then we're going to take the other one and line them up and put the fringe facing the bottom. So we have a bit of a bigger border here, which is really kind of nice. And you have all these extra pieces that you can use for other pages. You can do a page where you just have these around all 4 corners, just like that, making a 4 kind of a border of its own. And then we're going to put the big piece on the right-hand side, and that's going to be at the 4-inch mark and the 8-inch mark, just like the other page was. Okay, and then you have your 2 pieces here. That's going to go there. And I want to then take the small piece of the floral that's left, use your number 1 circle, and we're going to do 2 circles, red blade on the outside, just like we did on the Mexico page. Red blade on the outside. And I'm making 2 of them, and they are going to go one on one side and one on the other. Okay, and you can go ahead and take those down, and they will overlap just like the Mexico one did, overlap just a little, just like that. And then for your top, because the right-hand side didn't have a sun, you can take any of the mats from that mat pack, because there's some beautiful sayings on there. For the example, I used the one that said tropical vibe, but I wanted to show you that you could use other ones like bliss or feeling golden. Okay, and you're going to do the same thing. You're going to cut a circle, and then you're going to cut it in half. Now this one I'm using half of a circle already because I'm using the word bliss. So if you want to do that, then you just need to put your template right over there so you have all your words showing. Okay, and then I did the same thing with the one that said tropical vibe. Before we do this at the top, I forgot to tell you, we need 2 sticker strips. These little white sticker strips that came in the BoHo Escape Pack that had the little dots in them, they are perfect to put right here in between where you joined the 2 fringes. And it just gives it a little bit of decoration, and it also pops it just a little bit. On this one, I added pink bling, and then on the big flower cluster, I added some bling into the flowers. Okay, so for this one, I'm going to use the word bliss. That's going to go all the way to the top. And I'm going to use some stickers down at the bottom underneath it. So I might use this bigger sticker here. I'm going to cut bliss just a little bit. So that's going to go right on top of it, just like that. Okay, so I wanted to give you some alternatives for that. And then your left-hand side, the left-hand side, I clustered embellishments and stickers together. So above the first blanket, I have the big sun, this beautiful sun, and I put that gold bling in there. And that's touching the sticker that says, "This is the life," with the flower with another bling. And then on the side here, "My Kind of Paradise," you have all different words in that pack, a nice little leaf, and then another flower up at the top with some bling. Okay, so you have there's lots of other choices. You can definitely layer something like a smaller sun, like I would maybe do. You can definitely do something like this. 1, 1, 1. The sun, another sun, and then a flower to the side if you don't have that particular sticker. You know, so there's always a way to cluster your stickers. Okay, so that was fun. Beautiful pages. And now we're on to our final 2 pages. So for Mexico, what we're doing is we're going to take 2 more of the navy, and we are going to use that as our base again. That pack happened to be a very small pack. It was just a theme pack, so there was not a lot of paper in it. That is why we're supplementing it with navy. And we can do a couple of things with this. And I also want to show you, we had to supplement it with some other colors that were in the pack. So a turquoise, a yellow, a red, and an orange. And you just need 4 of those, 4 colors. And we are going to cut some 4x4 squares out of some colors. So let's get a yellow, a red. Let's do a 4x4 in the red. Four by 4 in that, a 4x4 in that. I'm going to get a turquoise. So these are just scraps that were from other collections or from other papers. But all these colors went with the colors that were in the stickers. An orange, a turquoise, a yellow, and a red, and you can mix and match whatever collections that you have. You want 4 squares that are 4 inches by 4 inches. So cut your 4 inches first, and then cut another 4 inches. So you need 4 squares that are 4 inches by 4 inches. You want to do the same thing with the boho pack. You want to find a couple that blend. Maybe get a a green or an orange or a yellow that's in that pack. So you can select colors such as the green, the yellows, the orange, any of these for the boho, because they will all blend together. On that one, I just used 3 colors, so we'll need 5 of them, but 5 of the 4x4 squares. And on the Mexico, I used 4 colors, so we only needed 4 squares. Now, if you don't have the zebra, you can also use this sun border maker cartridge. So that looks like that. And we're going to also punch this as a punch going all the way around. I think in this one, I'm actually going to change it to the sun. Just to do something a little bit, oh, no, I'm going to keep it because well, I'm going to change it. Let's change it up. Let's do something a little different. So we're going to make it a sun. So I need a 4x4 square. Okay, so you want 4 4x4 squares. This is for the Mexico if you're using 4 colors. If you're only using 3 colors, you will need 5 because you have to alternate your colors. Okay, now let's change our cartridge and we're going to use this as a punch again, not as a border. So I'm going to do each of these separately. Now this punch punches 2 inches and the housing is a little less than 4 inches. So when you put your paper in, make sure it's all the way in the back and you want to center it as best you can. So you'll have a little bit sticking out of both sides. Okay, just a little bit. Make sure that's what's sticking out on both sides is as even as it can be. Okay. We'll do this upside down so maybe you could see it better. So just make sure it's as even as it can be and punch. Okay, so that's what it looks like with the one punch. Turn to the left, do the same thing. You're going to do this on all 4 sides. Okay, make sure it's as even as it can be. Turn it again. Make sure it's as even as can be on both sides. Okay, and turn it again. And you're going to do the same thing. So now you're using this as a punch. Isn't that pretty? I just love it. This is what it looks like close up. That's a sunshine. You can use this idea for any border maker cartridge that does not come apart from the from what you're cutting. So as long as it stays attached, that's what you want. Okay, so let's do it to the other 3 pieces. Center and punch, center and punch, center and punch. So if you're using the BoHo Escape, you should be, you can punch along. Center and punch. Okay, so now we have 2. Just want to move this out of the way. These are all little pieces. Oh my goodness. Okay. And now let's do the other 2. Center and punch. And center and punch. Okay, clear your debris. I like to clear my debris because otherwise if you have a mountain of debris, it will get caught back up in here and you're not going to get a clean punch and you'll start jamming your tool. Okay, our last one, put it in, let's punch. So this is unfortunately a maker cartridge that's no longer available this sunshine. But you could also substitute this for other ones, such as ones that we have. You could even use a flower one if you'd like. Now these on their own, I just wanted to show you real quick. You can actually do a page that just has these on your four corners, just like this. And that's kind of fun. You could do something like this, where you're just making a design and then you can put your pictures around here. You could also tilt it if you want a huge, huge border and do 3 going across like that. So this is kind of a fun idea to use using your punch on a 4x4 square. But what we're going to do is we're going to take each one of these and we're going to cut them in half. Okay, so we are going to put them on a diamond and we're going to line it up on our cut line. If you want to line it up on the 45-degree angle, you can. And then you want your tippy top of your diamond to be on your dotted line of your cut line. Your cut line is the line that corresponds to the number that's at the top of Creative Memories. And you also want to line up the bottom diamond on your cut line. Okay, so make sure they're right at the cut lines. And we're going to cut through. Okay, and you have a perfect triangle point. And you're going to do that to the other 3 pieces. 45-degree angle, put it in as a diamond. 45-degree angle, top at the cut line, bottom diamond at the cut line. Cut that through. In. Let's see. 45-degree angle as a diamond, top of the diamond on the cut line, bottom of the diamond on the cut line. And these are just beautiful points. Okay, and one more time. 45-degree angle. One at the cut line. Okay, and now you're going to take one of them and we're going to cut that in half again. So I'm going to select, it doesn't have to be the same color. You could take one of different colors because we're going to put these together. And I'm going to line this up with the big base on at the base of my, or you can put it at the top. You can put it at the top of your trimmer. So your point is on your cut line. The point of the diamond is on your cut line, and you're going to cut that in half again. Okay, and we're going to do that to the other side. Okay, the big base at the top of your trimmer, the point of the diamond on your cut line, and you're going to cut that right through. Okay, and now you're ready to assemble. And you can decide which color you want at the top. If you want your sun, kind of like a sunshine coming up at the top. And then you want like some of your other colors. You're just assembling it like this. One half diamond facing down, two half diamonds facing up. And then you have your 4/4 pieces that are going to go in your corners. Okay, and now you are actually ready to tape these down. Some people like to have a point in which they can, see, because they don't like to put it on a freestanding kind of thing. So what I would suggest that you do is that you can, just want to put this at 3 1/4. So what might be easier to do is if you're not comfortable kind of free taping it down free form, you can take a ruler and a silver pen because you're working on navy. So you want a silver pen. Oops, what happened to my silver pen? Here we are, it's right here. Okay, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a dotted line at the 3 1/4 inch mark, right across. Okay, it might be easier if it were facing you to draw that line. And you see, look how great this idea, you can use it all over, side. You can use it top and bottom. Okay, so I'm just going to draw a dotted line at 3 1/4 because this might give us a better idea of where to place our borders. So at 3 1/4, hold your ruler down. You're going to use your fine tip of your silver. If you don't have silver, you can use a white. Now, just be careful because sometimes the silver is just a little silvery. You don't want it to smear. And we're just making a line at 3 1/4 inches. Okay, and then slowly lift up your ruler. Okay, sometimes with a metallic pen, it has to dry a little bit, or with a jelly pen. Get a tissue and wipe off the edge of your ruler, okay, in case there's any residue from your pen. You don't want that smearing your next page. Okay, and I'm going to do the same thing on this other side. I'm going to make a dotted line at 3 1/4 inches. 3 1/4 inches. So it's 3 1/4 at the top and 8 3/4 on the bottom. Just hold your ruler there, and then we're making a dotted line all the way down with your silver or white pen. And like I said, this just really helps to give you a nice line that you can line up what you have. There you go. Carefully lift it up because you don't want to smear it. You don't want to just, oops, I might have to do this just to lift up my ruler. There we go. And then wipe off any residue that's on your ruler. Okay, and now you have a piece, now you have an anchor, so to speak, of where your pieces are going to go. You see, and you're going to just space them evenly. Don't pass your line. And then make sure you have the, as best you can, similar amount of spacing between all of your pieces. Okay, and then you're ready to tape these down with your repo tape. Okay, and I would just do one at a time. Might do my bigger pieces first. And this is just a fun border. I've repeated this many times. It's just such a fun. You could do this with any border maker cartridge that doesn't come apart. The poinsettia would be one that would work with it. So see, by making your line, you've really got the base there. And it's easier to make that border. Then you can see where your spacing is in between your pieces. There you go. And then once you have your one side down, then you just move along to your next side and do exactly the same thing. And it's really very fun. Now it's up to you if you want to put more dotted lines between each of these bigger pieces. It's not necessary, but if you want to do that, it's, certainly something that you could do. And there's no right or wrong order of your design here, what colors to use. This is just all a fun, very fun, festive type of a border. You can use this border for birthdays. You could use it for the beach. You could use it for many, many other things. This one is too far over. Just want to lift it up. You just slide your multi-purpose tool underneath it and lift it up. There you go. Okay, isn't that fun? And again, I just want to point out that you can make this border go, have both of them go inward like this. That's very pretty also. You can do one at the top, one at the bottom, or you can have them both on the outside. So that's totally up to you. Because I'm using Sunshines, I do want it up at the top. And you can, you have a lot of other pieces that you can use in your packs to make your, to finish up the page. So what I mean is, if you were doing both pages, you had this leftover, this orange fringe that we cut out, that could be the bottom of this particular page. That would be a lot of fun. I used on an example an older strip, sticker strip, And then just added some of the cactus. You could also use the maracas across the top, or the cactus along the bottom. Maracas could also go this way, or the chili peppers. You've got the chili peppers. It would all be a lot of fun. Okay, so those are your 6 pages for Mexico. And now let's finish the boho escape. We're going to do a similar thing. Get we're going to need 5 colors for boho. And your base is going to be a tonal. I'm using those, I don't know what they're called, eyeballs or something. You can use those eyeballs. I'm using a green. You could use a yellow, the pale. And then get 3 colors in the boho. There's 3 colors there that you can use. And you're going to need 5 of the 4x4 squares. So 5 of them. And we're going to do exactly the same thing. I already have 2 cut, so I need another yellow. And we're going to do the same thing. We're going to be punching this out. And yeah, do another yellow. No, I'm going to do a green. I'm just going to pop it. No, I don't have green. I'm going to do a yellow. Okay, we're going to do exactly the same thing. We're going to use our border as a punch. I'm going to go back to the zebra stripe. And do the same thing. This time I'm going to try doing 2 at a time. Line them up directly in the middle and punch evenly around your edges. Okay. Clear your debris and then do the same thing again. Okay, and then we're going to do the same thing that we did with the other one. We're going to cut these diamonds, 45-degree angle. The top part of the top of the diamond at the cutting line, the bottom of the diamond at the cutting line, and these are going to get cut right in half. And I'm going to do that because I'm only using 3 colors. I'm going to wait to cut the one in half again until I lay them out just to see what color I want to cut in half. Okay, and then we're going to take our paper. I'm going to, with my brown fine tip pen this time, make a line at the 3 1/4 inch. top to bottom. Just want a dotted line. And you're going to just do this at the top and all the way down. Before you start laying your patterns. There we go. Do this again. At 3 1/4. Top to bottom. With my dashes, they're not dots, they're dashes, sorry. Dashes. And I'm using brown for this collection. I used silver on the other one because we were using navy. And the brown just kind of blends very well with this. Okay, and now we're going to do the same thing. We're going to lay out our colors. Now I did this one on the side, just to make it a little different, but also because I wanted to use those fringe pieces, because they kind of reminded me of blankets also. So I wanted to use these fringe pieces, one at the bottom and then one at the top of the other page. So I laid these on the side as opposed to the top. So you see the flexibility. It's exactly the same border, but just a little different. Okay, so play with your colors and you can decide which one you want where. And they're really very, very pretty papers. So I kind of alternate it so that if I have the green one on the bottom left, I have the green at the top right. There's no rhyme or reason. It's just whatever makes you happy. So now I can, I know that I can cut one of the yellows in half and one of the greens in half to make my corners. So again, put your big piece up at the top of your trimmer and the diamond point on your cut line. And you have a beautiful point. And then that's going to go up where the green is. And then I'm going to do the same thing to the green. The big part up at the top. The diamond point on your cut line. And now I'm going to put these up where the yellow color is so that it alternates the color. Okay, and you're ready to tape that down. And then on the left-hand side, what I did for the bottom was I put these beautiful mats. These are from the embellishment packs here, and they look like blankets. And I just layered. I have a title, Find Me Under the Palm Trees, and there's the die cut leaf with the pineapple and a pink leaves and a couple little bling. That's on the left-hand side. On the bottom. And then I balanced it with the other one on the top right hand, I mean on the left side of the top of the right hand page. Similar idea, but just using another title with a sun and a flower. So it's whatever you have left that you can use with those. Okay, and then adding some bling to that as well. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed Mexico Boho Escape class. We've done 6 pages for each, And this is recorded on YouTube, so only those with the link can watch it. And I hope you take another one of my classes in the future. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.